rapper Lil Durk was just picked up and indicted on murder for hire charges. I feel like Chief Keef is like the smartest one that came out of the Chicago area.
This election cycle, we spending $16 billion. Is it money that wins the culture?
TikTok will be banned in the U.S. on January the 19th, 2025.
There's a huge shift as we look at where the economy is going. And one of them is past those feelings, and he think about his vision. He think about his will, his plan, his ideas, and shit. He execute. That's man.
If it's a problem, it's a solution.
That's not acceptable for men to do.
I'm building, I'm writing down my goals, and I'm executing, I'm on my mission, tunnel vision.
I like the setting of man to man, man. It's just like a safe space to just speak freely upon everything.
Like we talk like men. Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of the Man to Man podcast where we talk as gods. I'm your host, Steve Jones, and I'm here with my good brother, Mr. 19 Keys. You did? How you feeling today, first off? You know I gotta ask you that.
I feel good. You know, I had a late night yesterday, so I woke up, today having to, refresh and re-energize. I just got off a call with the mentees. We had a really good conversation, man. You know, one of it was about like, where are you right now, right? How clear are you about your goals in life, right? And do you have goals that are so clear that you can measure them on a day-to-day basis, right? With your actions on whether you're getting there. And the other one was like, where are you in the sense of how do you feel? Because how you feel reveals. It reveals who you are, the life that you're living and the life that you're going to live. Because we often forget that what we do right now produces who we are later, right? And so it gets to a really dope point when you say, okay, if I really stop and say, I love how I feel right now, right? And I'm in a really good space, then that means you want to maintain that or increase it. But if you feel frustrated, you're going to produce more frustration.
Yeah.
If you feel struggle, you're going to produce more struggle. You can't produce anything outside of what you feel, right? And it goes into, again, to that metaphysical aspect of just life, that we can't be anything that we not already are. Right? The people that I know that's successful, they already feel like it. Like the rest of your life is just flowing into what they know about themselves. You could have 100,000 followers today, right? The world see it as 100,000, but you already know you at 1 million, right? You could have $10 in the bank, but you already feel like a millionaire, and the money just catches up to that. You like, damn, the rest of the world, how the hell did you get to that?
Yeah.
Right, I've been that. Y'all just couldn't see it. Whatever you are, have to be on the inside. And then the outside will project it.
I like that. You don't never ask how I'm feeling, man. I was waiting on him.
You gonna bait me into it now.
Nigga, you gonna say, how you feeling? Don't even worry about it.
All right.
But nah,
you right. Nah,
but nah, today, right? Today I got a good episode mapped out, right? But before we kick it off with the topics, I was doing my research. I know you had recently just left Japan. So I tapped into some of the principles from Japan. And I ran across this one principle called Giri. And it's a
Giri?
Giri. And you spell it Giri. I don't know why they pronounce it Giri. Now in the Japanese culture, Giri represent a sense of duty and moral obligation an individual has towards society. And its core tenet emphasizes the importance of responsibility, not only for oneself, but to others. So I remember on our previous episode where we talked about your Japanese experience, you had spoke on how they don't think as individuals, they think on a collective scale. You know what I'm saying? And a lot's been going on over here in America as far as the media goes, And, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Recently, rapper Lil Durk was just picked up and indicted on murder for hire charges. After all the success and him getting the key to Chicago, a couple days later, they ran down an indictment, saying his friend wore a wire on him and told on him and all of that or whatnot.
Yeah.
But instead of me focusing on his specific case, I think it's a bigger issue than that on a larger scale. Who's funding this war? Because Lil Durk, of course he make the money legit, from a legit aspect, but he used it for something negative, allegedly. But who's funding the wars? Like I said, you got to look at these record executives. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the guys, these other Empire Records, the Leo Coin. You know what I'm saying? And for instance, you got rapper Young Thug fighting a Rico Choice. He ain't the only rapper fighting a Rico Choice. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these record labels put exploitation over empowerment.
All of them.
All of them, really. You got rapper Gucci Man, who's the only one that I can see that's trying to break the cycle. He just recently released all his orders. And you know, he was known for signing orders straight out the hood, and all of them either overdose on drugs or go to prison. So he just got on the internet last week. They say he just missing all his orders. He want to start fresh. I don't think a white executive will ever do nothing like that.
Well, you know, hip hop, and this is something I had on a conversation with Rashad and Ian about how you got to follow the money. And when you follow the money, right? Because we always say follow the money, but we never follow the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You follow the money with Diddy. You follow the money with these rappers that crash out, right? You follow the money, and then you get the executives that never have to speak about it. They get to make all the money from our culture. They get to, you know, get all of the rewards, but they don't have to be there for none of the risk. Right. And then we don't even question them whatsoever. But if we were to do that to another people, right, we'd be seen as demons and devils.
Yeah.
If we took advantage of another group of people and we had their youth making crash out music to where they was dying, killing, robbing, you know what I mean, pimping and degrading each other, right? Those people will get you out that community fast. Like you on their list and you out of there. We don't do that. So part of it is they have a responsibility and we have a responsibility, right? Their responsibility, of course, is they're guilty of intentionally doing these divisive things that feed into the war so that they can make profit over black bodies, young black children that grow up in impoverished environments that they can manipulate and control for $1 to sell their soul. And we got a responsibility as a people to root them out. So when we see industries that completely take advantage of us, we have to destroy those industries in a way to where we end those practices, whether we want to do it on a physical level or we want to do that through a legal level. Right? We got enough influence now to be able to propose, you know, bills and get legislation passed to where they won't be able to, you know, incentivize wars or incentivize consistent degradation. Right now, Facebook is being sued because, and the social media companies being sued because of the addictive properties that they have for children.
Yeah.
Why can't we sue the record labels?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the same issue.
Why when we protest to free the rappers, how come we can't make a petition to put the executives on the RICO charge as well?
That's what, because if they funding it, then that's the money.
Yeah,
they're part of it.
That's the root.
Yeah, you in business, that's your partner. Because here's the thing, and this is what we do in our community, bro. If you even know a person, they act like y'all together. These people don't even just know them. They know their family. They go out to dinner. They eat together. They fund them.
Yeah.
Right? They really pushing this. And when the person wants to create a different change and shift, they're not incentivizing that.
Yeah.
They like, well, nigga, get back on that nigga shit you on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You got rapper Meek Mill say they make more money when they perpetuate the violence and talk about that in their music.
Know it for a fact.
Like, it's hard as hell for independent artists who talking about something positive, even the major artists that's talking about something positive to get their music pushed. But let you be talking about, I'm finna go kill my ops and smoke my ops, and you gonna hear this shit on the radio 1,000,000 times.
Fast. And so there should be some sort of, you know, like we talked about, you know, regulating free speech is different, but it's more so regulating the business practice of, right? Like we want to be able to regulate Spotify that take advantage of artists, right? Giving them 0.003 cent on, you know, every goddamn penny on every stream. We should regulate that and give artists more money, number one, so that they don't have to do these clout chasing things to be able to make money on their artistry, number one. Because right now, you know, it turns into content instead of art. It's not art anymore. And these kids are killing themselves for a couple of dollars. That's not even sustainable, right? And they ain't, just like the NFL wasn't teaching nobody how to manage their money. Like financial literacy became a thing when our generation picked it up and started teaching us. Rappers didn't know what the hell they was doing. They finally started to get financially literate because they heard it from a generation that grew up watching them, thinking that we thought that they knew about money. They were showing us houses that wasn't even real on MTV Cribs. They've been pushing, perpetuating ideas on us that have been irresponsible for generations. You know what I mean? And we're working to repair those things. And so now we got to start taking that as like a fight to where we take that on a physical level, a spiritual level, a legal level, right? On all levels to where we're boycotting things that we don't want. We getting certain things banned and we deciding to craft a culture in a certain way. And yes, it's gonna mess up people money short term, but so what? Because y'all messing up the culture long term.
Facts. And like, let's take it to the accountability aspect of it. As an artist, it's your duty to not incriminate yourself. It's your duty to go in that studio and know, man, I can't talk about a hit that I just did last week and put it on record for the whole world to hear. And as a fan, it's my duty to not even, you know what I'm saying, make this type of music a high demand. You know what I'm saying?
You know, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like now that's where it goes into the social responsibility. We got to save ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, we have to be the ones that push. There's always going to be somebody willing to sell out, right? Always going to be somebody willing to sell out. Like they got a generation of boys that's willing to paint their nails, wear dresses, and bend over backwards for a deal. So we're not going to get everybody to be integrable, obviously. But as a collective voice, we're not even holding any integrity as far as accountability, because if we don't push masculinity, then there is no standard to hold. So we push the effeminization consistently, and I mean pushing in a way to where we're okay with it. That's their lifestyle. Y'all don't understand how it bleeds into an effective influence. And when that thing is influencing your child, then don't expect them to be stand-up men with integrity and code that come along with proper masculinity.
Yeah.
Right? These are the things that we allow to happen, right? You got these young boys wanting to be cute and act like little girls and things of that nature. And it was like, no, let them be and express themselves. But what is that really going? All this individual expression has become toxic because now we don't have any collective agreement about what a man is.
Yeah.
So now you can't say, okay, well, we said that a real masculine man is supposed to be a father that's in a household taking care of his children. Now the fathers are absent. How can you hold them to a standard where there's no agreed upon?
Yeah.
Like, no, that masculinity is saying that these men need to now get back into their position. They need to follow that God will. They need to follow that God mind. They need to have them codes of discipline and things that they stand by. So then we can say, okay, well, hey, little bro, you ain't being a man. Then they say, what's a man?
Yeah.
We ain't even agreed on what's a man no more.
Yeah. And that's what I want to see more of. I want to see that God body culture as far as the masculinity go, because I'm tired of the two narratives that I keep saying. We either gangsters killing each other, or like you said, the other ones putting on the dresses and painting their nails. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when is it gonna come to a point where I hope this little Durk situation becomes the end of the drill music, because I feel like Chief Keef is like the smartest one that came out of the Chicago area. He came in the game on the drill music. However, when he got his money, he moved to LA, got the hell out of Chicago, shifted his whole lifestyle and mindset, left the people alone that was gonna bring him down, and he's the last man standing.
Man, shout out to Sosa. Sosa did it, man. Where you at? Where you at, Sosa? Shout out to Sosa, man. Sosa understood that, you know, the streets is a trap. It is created to trap souls.
Yeah.
You know, it's not created to breed integrity, loyalty, honor, discipline, none of those things that's required for you to actually have an environment, right, that is conducive of you having longevity and success. It's not supposed to. I think we got to get back to that understanding that the streets is not supposed to produce success. It's not supposed to be light and good. That's the streets. It was never painted like that. Neighborhoods, yes. Communities, yes. Right? When they're steeped in God, they're steeped in family, they're steeped in order, yes. But the streets, it's a criminal network. It's nothing but darkness. It's a hood, not a neighborhood. It's missing the neighbor. Right? That means a brother look out for a brother, sister look out for each other. A child can be able to walk down the street, right? And the neighbor is watching that child, not sickly preying and predators with minds that's gone and lost. You know what I'm saying? That means that there's opportunity around for people to take advantage of so that it doesn't become a pipeline to prison. Like, this is we got to get back to the foundations in what the culture is. So when people be having faith in the streets that anything else is supposed to happen in the streets than what is happening in the streets is working. That's what the streets is. Niggas is robbing and killing and murdering each other. What you think else is gonna happen?
Yeah.
Niggas is pimping and goddamn double cupped on the lean and losing their mind. Like, what else is it supposed to produce?
The cycle continue. It's like ain't nobody taking heed, you know. They can't wait to make a documentary about your fuck ups.
Come on, man.
And then the people who putting out the documentaries ain't even black.
Yeah.
They profiting off of your trauma at the end of the day.
And they killing it. And they good at it.
And I was talking to my partner the other day, and me and him was both incarcerated together facing a life sentence. So this is my partner who I'm chopping it up with every day. So we was talking about the Lil Durk situation. And he was like, yeah, man, it hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? You can grow up or you can help somebody out, and then the whole time they put the police up on you. And I had hit him with, I'm like, man, some people just ain't built for jail. They gonna tell on you. And he say, nah, you wrong. Ain't nobody supposed to be built for jail. Nobody's supposed to be built to be living inside of a cage. You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on that?
Jail is a legal form of torture. You know, it just went from prison to slavery. I mean, slavery to prison. We know that. So it's like the whole, like you can be in there to a certain limit that it is a legal form of torture. It breaks the mind. It's not a place of reforming. And if we're not reforming and redeeming, then there's really no point of prison, right? I believe that, you know, we have enough science, we have enough studies, we have enough technology, and we have enough ways to know how to put a person in an environment to reform them, right? How to educate them, how to put together certain psychological programs, how to force them to eat certain foods and things of that nature that correct mood and disorders that happen, right? How to make sure that they come outside being productive citizens, not going inside, right? Just to becoming profit cows so that people can take advantage of it and make money. Crime has become so profitable for the prison industry, they have no reason to actually reform prisons. So when we talk about prison reform, there's so many different things that need to happen. Like, number one, we need to be the ones owning the prisons, right? Because there's so much stuff that we ask for, but imagine if we all decide to say we're going to buy up all of the stock in the prison to have controlling interest in that, to decide the programs that then come out of that. If we fight for legislation and bills that we believe will actually help our young brothers that go in, because when we look at, they say black men are 7% of the population, but 40% of violent crimes. That's only because we are over policed.
Yeah.
Right? That's only because more of them are being sentenced for those crimes, right? Systematically in America. It's not that we are more violent people. Come on now. We're around white people. Y'all got a history of violence, literally. Y'all ancestors was
actually worse than black people.
Y'all ancestors was serial killers that was goddamn ripping off skin and turning them into dolls and wearing them around. Like, let's be honest, we talking about 50 years ago. Like, that's your grandparents. You know what I mean? Like, so let's deal with reality. America was built off the most violent crimes are born in history, right? This is a fact that this chattel slavery changed the chemistry of your brain, and that's why it's so much evil, and you can't. This is why we got so many goddamn pale-faced serial killers and people that's messing with their little children and things of that nature. But we know that we deal with a system that is created to target us and disproportionately convict us of crimes at a higher rate and over-police our neighborhoods. It's not that we have some nature, because there is no proof ever in history that our nature is just conducive to violent behavior. What happens is we're in situations and circumstances where poverty produces that. We're in situations to where we got people who don't look like us that will pour money into low-level negative music that keeps us at a frequency to where we harm or hurt each other. See, if you're the one that's goddamn funding the crime, then you're evil than the person that's doing it. What is Durk? What was his thing? Gun for hire? He hired? He's the one that funded? That's what they saying he did. His crime is saying that they funded. If you funding our crimes, then how you not going to jail with the person doing it?
And then you got America, where they funding 70% of the war in Israel. However, they are underfund everything when it comes to black community.
Come on now, I just sent you over a where they said this election cycle, we spending $16 billion. $16 billion just to become a president. We have gotten to, this is a record, by the way. We've gotten to the point of capitalism where you got money fighting money, right? One side full of billionaires. There's billions of dollars on the other side too. It's money. Is it money that wins the culture? Is it money that wins the vote? What does that say when money wins? Right? It says that money is the god of America.
It stands for cash rule everything around.
Yeah, it's money. So it's not saying that, hey, we're picking the best candidate that's going to make America great. right? This is going to push America forward and our America, a new vision that this generation decides, right? It's going to what's win. No, it's money. Let's stop acting like America ain't a business, right? And a commerce corporation, right? So when I look at that though, it's like, man, we can find $16 billion for that, but we can't prioritize the health of Americans. We can't prioritize the mental illnesses in America to take $16 billion and then go build our facilities all across America. We can't take that to do, fresh food to table farming and regenerative farming systems across America so it helps with this. We can't take that and start to have an overhaul of skill development to prepare young children for the new economies of the future. We can't take that and create propaganda campaigns to push positively on the people so they understand the new intelligences that they're going to need for the future, right? We can't take that and change America in any capacity and fight the war that's in America by uniting the people, right? The government has now become so tyrannical that it divides the people when something is supposed to be democratic as a voting system is actually more divisive than ever, right? Because what is an American anymore?
Yeah. Imagine a world where they took their money and they actually funded Black initiatives, right? And y'all know we the most, influential people on the planet. So now they take this money and they start funding our initiatives. We got better schools. We got better music. We got better everything, better fashion and all of that.
Talk to them.
We gonna turn the world up, on the positive aspect, So imagine a world like that. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to see us thriving, so you already know that it's all done strategic.
Well, see, we got to get back to this, right? Did I read this last time?
Yeah.
About the silent revolution? I read that. Where my clip at? I ain't see that clip. Going back to that, like that's the future of activism. We got to start having, what is the future of activism, the future of protesting, right? The future of, social programs. Because going forward, everything got to be new. We have new in the sense that we're
new culture.
Even if it's going off of old methods that actually work well that we need to revive and reprise during this time. Because the old things are not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? After this election, right? Hey, everybody, go out there and vote. Can't wait to see you vote. Right? Boom. Pick your candidate. You got two wings of the bird. Pick which side you land on.
Yeah.
Or go independent. Go Green Party for all I care. Or do it right in. Do that. Now we got that out the way. All right. After that, all right, what's next? This is where we make the initiative about saving yourself and becoming self-reliant. Because, yes, every person deserves an opportunity for them to be able to, have a decent living wage, an opportunity for them to have an education, to grow up in environments of stability, right? An opportunity for them to have their unalienable rights, right? Unrestricted, their freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth, freedom to bear arms if they want to.
Yeah.
I believe in those things, right? I believe in our ability to be able to utilize technology, science, all of these different things, create infrastructures. But if we go into the future, how are we actually going to get that and protect that, right? I want to protect that. So when I think about activism, I think that it has to be less about what we telling the system and more about what we telling ourselves. It has to be, when we think about election times and cycles, I seen Obama go on a pivot. Kamala went on Shannon Sharp. Great for both of them. I actually applaud that.
Yeah.
Some people say they shouldn't have taken it. I don't agree with that. I agree that Black media needs to be bigger and more influential, right? I'm happy the Democrats did that, actually. Because Donald Trump went on every goddamn white podcast that he could find. He went on Black ones as well. JFK or Robert F. Kennedy went on all the podcasts he can get on. He came on ours. Cornel West came on ours. This is one of those times where Black media, they went on Charlemagne stuff. They did all the different ones. I believe that Black media needs to continue to grow its presence. It needs more funding and more budget.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, like, we have to stop being so short-sighted. When we disagree with a person, we don't want them to get any more power, not knowing that they may be able to do something good in the future for us. But if we're not even set up in position whatsoever, we can't do nothing even if we got a good idea. So I want to see us continue to benefit from everything, especially the presidency, right? So if brothers is getting money during this time, that's cool. Don't be a sellout though, for sure. And then don't be getting money because you getting paid to push politics, but then you want to passionately push it on other people who ain't getting a dollar to do it. You know what I mean? So you can't make somebody else feel sorry, bro. You got paid to do it, first of all. That becomes your job, quite literally. I understand why you're doing it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money in politics, a lot of money being waved around. Hey, they ain't wave no money around here. They ain't wave no money at high levels. So why you think that I got any reason to do business with them? That's the way I internalize this, and that's the way I'm sure a lot of other people do as well. Do business with people who do business with you. Utilize things for leverage, right? And what aligns with your agenda for the future, right? Be strategic and super intentional as much as you want to, right? And do everything for us and nothing for them, unless it's a win-win.
Now, as far as doing business with others that align with your agenda and power, I seen 50 Cent on the Breakfast Club today. And, you know, they asked him about Omari Hardwick or whatnot, and you know how he feel about him saying, like, shit, he should have got paid more to be on the show and continue or whatnot. And 50 Cent response was, I feel like he overvalued himself. You know what I'm saying? He say he done had 6 spinoffs since then, and they all big and successful without him. And we don't know anything about Omari other projects, even though he has had other projects since Power. Now, the way I want to talk about this situation is, do you feel like 50 Cent just continued the same cycle when it comes to the industry undermining or giving you undercuts when it comes to your, you know what I'm saying, power that you had when or the energy that you brought around the show once they write you off and then move on to the next one? Or do you feel like, shit, 50 was right in this situation as far as like, man, I paid you what you was worth at the time or whatnot, and I ain't undervaluing you. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't want you going off creating a narrative that I don't pay people. I actually paid you.
You know, first of all, shout out to both of those black men. You know, I've never met 50. I've met, you know, Omari Hardwick and his brother. You know, we've been in a movie together. So, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, man.
You know
I
what
ain't
I'm
ever
saying?
bring that movie
Not
up.
only that, he came to my store and he bought clothes and he supported, bought glasses.
Yeah.
At the time I had the store, actually Omari Hardwick had spent more than anybody in the store. Right? So I'm always support that brother.
It was that power money.
Yeah, I support who supports me, and I remember him actually telling us what he wanted the future of power to be at that time. Right? He was talking about how he wanted to care to go the political route and like investing in stock market and all these different ideas that he was talking about. And I just seen that look in his eyes, like he really was ready for that character to continue to grow and develop in that.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is, especially in stuff like that, I don't think he's overvaluing himself. I think that he got really invested, right, into his contribution of that role. Because as you said, they was able to create all these spinoffs of that. And a lot of that was because he invested so much in playing that role 100%.
Yeah.
Right. And doing that at his best. So a lot of times we don't get equity in the things that we help make hits and successes. Right. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with doing business in a way to where you give people equity that help you make a franchise. Right. Quite frankly, it's nothing wrong with that. We got to stop only doing business the way white men do business with us. Right. So I think that there should be
I
a new
feel like
culture.
we gotta run that back again. We gotta stop doing what?
Business the way white men do business with us. That becomes a standard in operating. Like, man, this the standard, this how it is. It's like, no, the whole idea is that we brothers, we want things to be better. And this is not what I'm particularly framing as far as what 50 is doing, but I'm telling you that this is what I know the heart of black men want to have happen. Which is why we sometimes do things and give our 100% naively thinking that, man, shouldn't they just recognize my contribution and value and have equity in this so that I have sustainability in the future? Because I know I'm about to get 5 years of my life to this, right? And those are 5 years I'm never going to be able to get back, but you're going to be able to eat off forever, right?
Yeah.
So I have watched Omari Hardwick projects. People that are his core fan base, I rock with the brother. I think he's an amazing actor. You know what I'm saying? I think that the problem is not the fact that he's not in demand, because look at 50 Cent shows. They never give him awards for any of his shows. And a lot of the people that are on his shows never get spinoffs and opportunities. Why? That's saying something about the black shadow that they put on 50 Cent, right? With that, they not putting respect on that. You know what I mean? He should be getting all kind of Emmys and things of that nature for those shows, especially for the ratings that they get, right? It's a way that they're treating black actors that's industry-wide, and specifically the way that they treating 50 Cent as he's broken into the industry and he's broken records, right? So I can't even say that that's Omari Hardwick. No, a lot of the actors that's on that show are dealing with that same exact thing after they had incredible roles and they did their job very well. So that's almost like a punishment that the industry is saying that you were a part of a project that we didn't greenlight. You know what I'm saying? Like 50 Cent is doing something very important with the Shreveport, the example that he's showing, the game that he's giving, right? Even with the shows that he's making, even though we don't always want to see just criminal shows and things of that nature, I think what it's doing, and eventually I would love to see that it opens up for him to be able to greenlight other projects that he wants to do. Because he's played in movies that's different than just making criminal movies. So I know he has interest in those areas as well, right? But it's about him getting into a position of force, right? To where he can greenlight those for himself because he built the economy up in a way. And I would absolutely love in the future to see Omari Hardwick and 50 Cent work together and do something, because you know the whole culture gonna get behind that.
How do you measure yourself as being 19 Keys when it comes to your work?
Oh man, I want the best who ever do it, ever will do it, and ever will continue to go through it. You know what I'm saying? I'm $1 billion economy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just understand that I'm a truth speaker. So I'm not trying to be careful with my words and mince my words too much, you know, and I represent something that the world has yet to catch up to. The future of black men in America, the future of how we feel about being free. You know what I'm saying? I think my value is immense. We've created shows, and almost everything that I've done is a unicorn, right? Everywhere I'm at, I'm immensely valuable, but sometimes people don't want to acknowledge that value because then they got to acknowledge what you're worth, right? We live in a very dog-eat-dog world. You know what I'm saying? People want to use you up, and once you dry, they want to move on to the next. Like I said, we operate with each other. We speak like brothers, but we act just like capitalists. All right? So, yeah, I think that my voice, my power, my influence is extremely rare. It's extremely powerful, right? And I'm one of them chosen ones, no matter how you cut it up. You know what I mean? I know my value is worth billions.
I like that. I like that, man.
What about yourself, man? How do you value yourself as a black man, man? How you feeling today?
All right, so first, the
I
way
don't never get to ask you that question.
don't worry about it. I'm just nah, but first, right, when it comes to how I assess myself, right, I remove all external things. So I don't measure myself by money. I don't measure myself by the resources I got. I don't measure myself by how popular I am. None of that shit, right? I measure myself by how much I elevate my spiritual journey. Because at the root of everything, right, I need my foundation to be clear. Whenever I go make a move, and whenever I put action to anything, I want to make sure my spiritual journey is up to par. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the way I look at the concepts of religion and everything, you know what I'm saying? I want to take all of that in first, because that's how I'm going to bring my value. Because at that point, everything that I do is going to be with good intention. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure whenever I walk in the room that, like you said, when we walk in rooms, we walk in that joint intentionally. We already know what's on our mind, what's on the agenda, what's on the schedule. However, it's going to be principle-based and something that's morally correct. You know what I'm saying? I ain't coming in doing shit for the money, for the fame, for the clout. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I do is going to be standing on business, and it ain't going to be just for me. It's going to be for the whole collective that I walk in with, you know? So that's how I measure myself and my worth, and that shit undeniable. And it's priceless.
Yes, sir.
You did.
And you got better at speaking, man.
Yeah.
That boy be flowing now. That boy be communicating, boy. That's that high level effect.
That's that super mind.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Go ahead, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
I wanted to talk about something about let's get into a little bit of money, man.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey, man ain't got no money. It's hard to be a man out here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So gold is priced around $2,778. Bitcoin reached a new all-time high at 73,737. And part of this is due to what we call the October effect. You know what I mean? There's a trend where Bitcoin typically performs well in October. Now, historically, I've been telling people about gold and Bitcoin. I chose gold and Bitcoin because those are easy safe havens that I've seen that were going to trend up. So for the last 5 years that I've been talking about Bitcoin and gold, those are points of investment, specifically gold. You know, some people give warnings that this economy is completely propped up, right? That everything can just fall. It's always been there, especially depending on who becomes president, right? They're thinking that when Donald Trump becomes president, crypto prices may fly in the short term, right? But long term, there could be some issues of volatility, especially with the tariffs and things of that nature that he want to charge on China and stuff like that. You know, but we could see Bitcoin breaking, you know, this resistance and even going higher to 80,000 real soon and eventually to 100,000. Who knows what Bitcoin becomes in the future? Bitcoin could be hitting $1 million, you know what I mean, in 10 years. We don't know. But same thing with gold. Everybody should be backed by gold, right? And when gold goes up, guess what goes up as well? Silver. You know what I mean? Silver tends to follow gold, right? There's a gold to silver ratio that indicates silver may continue to benefit from the market, pushing gold, right? There are economic factors that go into this. Central banks purchases such as, you know, Russia and China increasing their gold reserves, aiming to diversify away from the U.S. I talked about this when we was in Toronto, Market Mondays, giving a breakdown about that. And you really want to know how they price gold, what countries hold gold. But when we talking about getting backed by gold, which I'm gonna do a entire free webinar for in the high level, make sure you join the high level club. What it is that, you know, you can buy gold, you can insure gold, you can invest in gold, you can get gold back cryptos, right? You can get into gold ETFs, right? You can, you know, invest directly in gold mines. You can buy gold, go to a gold bullion, right? There's so many different things that you can do to be backed by gold, and then you can leverage that gold, put it in the safety deposit box. You can go get it insured. You can get it appraised, right? All of these different things are necessary. I believe that all Black people should be backed by gold and, of course, silver. I'm just saying gold is like the top, and then, of course, everything that goes under that. When I say Bitcoin, I'm saying Bitcoin is like the safe thing, but of course there's Ethereum, of course there's XRP, right? Of course there's multiple other different cryptocurrencies that we can talk about when we get into more confined spaces. But I definitely want to get back into every segment of Man to Man, making sure we have some money talk, right? So I would love to see more people practicing dollar cost average, getting back to the basics, right? Put in a small percentage of, or a large percentage of your money into some asset, such as gold, such as silver, right? Such as Bitcoin, such as stocks, such as ETFs, whatever it may be. Dollar cost averaging is just setting your money up automatically, right? Something that you can get. I don't care if it's $5 a month, $10 a month. You can buy a whole Bitcoin, buy Satoshis, which is the increments of Bitcoin when they broken down, right? You can still have Satoshis in the future, right? Right now it's 73,000. Usually you get these uptrends and they have bounces to where they dip down and you want to buy through those dips. And as they go up in percentage, you win in percentage. That's fine. We also have, some stuff that I'm doing with Quater where you can get stock signals, right, daily, some apps that we're working with that we're going to be telling you about, and we're going to be announcing as well on the tour, right, to where you don't have to have a lot of money, but you do need to start learning, right? Financial literacy and economic literacy matter. Economic literacy is understanding, right, how economic affects you, right? And so once you have that, then you understand gold. You understand what's going on with BRICS and Russia and China. But we should all be backed by gold. Because when the dollar fails, right, that's when that gold go up. When that dollar fails, and then right now gold is acting unusual, right? It usually don't be trending like this. You know what I mean? So make sure you buy some gold. You can go to a gold bullion. We will have some links in the high level club that will be telling you where we go buy it, how you can leverage it to increase your net worth and track your net worth over time so that you have assets so that your family, right, can say, you have a net worth and you worth something. I'm talking about with real tangible assets. If you don't want to own it inside your house, you can put in a safety deposit. You don't want it there, you can go through a bullion and have them store it for you. There's so many different ways, right? There's some that's going to make you a little more money long term, right? Some that's going to make you way more money short term. Just depend on what type of investment you want to make. But I believe everybody should be backed by gold. Let's get into it.
Yeah, because I'm finna go get me a whole bunch of gold teeth. And when I'm gone, my sisters never can have it. And I got big teeth, so it's gonna be a lot of gold.
Yes, man. That's one way. That's one way, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm talking about? We got no, you know, when you make it in gold, I sell gold jewelry. Once you mold it, you go from it being a spot price, right? That you can buy gold at some place you can buy it under spot price, right? But when you buy it and you turn it into jewelry, it becomes art and it can become worth more. So instead you taking something that is worth, $1,000, you turn it into a jewelry. Now it could be worth $1,500. Now it can be worth $2,000. So it's not a bad thing. That's why people sell grills. They're not selling you the spot price, what it costs on market. You know what I mean? They're telling you most likely 30% above spot price plus the cost of labor to make it. And then if they got a brand, you making even way more money on the gold. So, you being funny, but it's a good business because we still wear grills all the time. Well, I need to get me a new one, but I'm just saying Black people in culture, period, there's a lot of people wearing grills, but yes, gold, gold, gold. And gold is just your entry to the rest of the precious metals and the rest of the investment.
Yeah. All right, so I was scrolling today, and I know we talked about this on an earlier episode of the Man to Man at the beginning of the year, that, America was trying to ban TikTok. So now it just came in that TikTok will be banned in the U.S. on January the 19th, 2025, if they don't come to the agreement. You know what I'm saying? And this come after TikTok just did a deal with Amazon where, Amazon integrated their store with the TikTok app. So once you see an app, you can instantly go click on the link to go straight to Amazon and buy it in real time, So for me personally, I feel like they're gonna come to a conclusion to where, you know what I'm saying, they end up accepting America's terms with the regulation. But then another part of me feel like, man, TikTok's staying on business. They already been banned in like 8 different countries and they ain't budged. So they might look at America like F y'all too, What's your thoughts on that?
I think we're gonna have to see, but I think anything's possible at this point. I'm here to see what happens. I think that you should prepare your brand for anything. That's what I definitely think. I think that America is definitely like a Cold War with China. Anything can happen. America's trying to figure out how to control more of its influence. Most likely it's not going to be a full ban on the 19th, right? We've heard this a few times. They probably, if anything, will keep stretching it out. But I know that they're going to have to do something as far as internal structure of ownership and things of that nature to come to some agreement with the U.S. But I don't think it's going to be banned on the 19th. The 19th is a very powerful day. So I thought it's curious that they picked that day because that's a portal day. I don't play about my 19th. There's always something historical happening on 19th. Right? You can always go back in time. Those are days of high level observation. So I think on that day, number one, pay attention to January 19th. Pay attention to the next week. We just got hit with a solar flare, right, again. So, as we study different cosmic events and things of that nature, that lets us some insight into the future. Yeah. Last time that happened, we had one of the worst, category storms in history, right? And then you always see, that has an effect on the people. So once that flare gets shot out, that can mess up technology, things of that nature, but it also has an effect on breathing patterns, anger, mood, social changes in the environment and things of that nature, right? So once you understand that solar cycle 25 going into next year is actually going to be at its peak where we're going to be getting hit with even more sun flares than ever, it's going to be a very highly volatile year. And that does have an effect on our social reality and the economy. So don't expect things to slow down. things are gonna get real wild next year. So you want to be, number one, you want to have your community's tight. You want to be a part of a community where y'all got each other back, y'all locked in, right? Because as things get dangerous outside, you want to find safety in the code and loyalty and strength that you have with others, even if it's a very small group. Individualism, right, is dying out because it's burnt out in the population, right? And the trends of everything that is happening are terrible. People want to be outside. People want to go to real events. People are tired of being lonely in the house with their controller and their lotion. They want to be outside with some motion. You know what I'm talking about? I understand. Save yourself. Get outside. Come to the Save Yourself tour. It's going to be beautiful women there, man. Y'all know these women, man, that be into the finances and the consciousness, and they be showing up beautiful with the, come on now, to smell good. This is where you want to know you would find you a wife. Come to the Save Yourself tour. Save yourself some time. Save yourself some money. They ain't at the club. I ain't even gonna lie to you, little bruh. You know what I'm saying? The women that be coming there, they be having a natural beauty too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm talking about beautifuls. So make sure y'all come to the Save Yourself tour because you might find your wife there, number one. And number two, we're gonna have an amazingly good time and a great experience. There's gonna be a lot of knowledge and information and wisdom that we want to share upon you. But this is about unleashing and unlocking that aspect of self, right? To where we get to be prepared for the future in a very real way. There's new economies emerging. There's new technologies that we need to know. There's new intelligences that we need to be paying attention to and tapped in. There are new trends. There are new ways that we need to go about doing things. There's ways we need to prepare ourselves and our family, our security, our mind, our spirit. Save Yourself tour. Go to 19keys.com/tour.
At a recent rally of former President Trump, he had a comedian named Tony Hinchcliffe, you know what I'm saying, who got on the speaker. And of course, you know, he made some racially insensitive remarks about Puerto Rico, calling it an island of garbage. He also made derogatory comments about black people that had something to do with watermelons. And, you know, it caught a lot of backlash, of course, you know. And then you got Senator J.D. Vance, who doubled down on it and was like, you know, at first they tried to separate the Trump from, you know what I'm saying, the comments that was made. But then he turned around and said, we got to stop being so sensitive when it comes to comedians. Now, me personally, I do feel like we got to stop being so sensitive to comedians. But on the flip side, it's a time and a place for a comedian to crack jokes. And when you on a stage as large as a political event, you know what I'm saying? You can't be up there making racist jokes and then you don't make a racist joke about white people.
Listen, you can say whatever you want to, but you can't control the backlash, right? If I go on the stage and I make some racist, and also everything matters is context, right? That guy stand up. I seen it on Netflix. I seen how he was. That's his bag, right? Very racist. But at a political rally, that ain't what I want to see.
Yeah.
At a political rally, it's not funny. At a political rally, it's some KKK disrespectful type shit. That's the way I see it at a political rally. Because you're actually dealing with real power and people in decisions. And if this is how they laugh and this is how they disrespect us in front of our face, imagine what they do behind your back, right? So I look at it from a respect factor, that when the people don't have respect, they ain't got no power. So I don't care if you go vote for Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And you really believe in the Trumpian and you a Trumpster and all of this stuff. But if you ain't got respect, they go treat you like a bootlicking sucker. You know what I'm saying? And I think about that for black and brown people across the globe, but in America, because we can't afford the disrespect like somebody else can, right? The disrespect for us is where they start to dehumanize you first so they don't have to treat you like a human being, so they don't have to give you the same level of rights and opportunity, right? This always starts with dehumanizing you. And a lot of these tropes comes from, you know, a lot of racist background. First of all, ain't nothing wrong with watermelon. Everybody loves some damn watermelon. There's something wrong with you if you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But number two, when I think about these political rallies and things of that nature, it's not about Donald Trump I ain't worrying about. It's the culture that Donald Trump produces to where he also emboldens a lot of white supremacists.
Now, when you just said that, right, when we vetting people to come on any one of our shows, right, before we had a guest on, we gonna do research. We gonna see like, then I gotta do my research to figure out what questions I'm
It's
gonna
a
ask.
presidential.
And you
Come
and
on
you
now.
just said that you set up and watched some of the guys stand up before on Netflix. So you know that's his bag, right? So for Trump to get up there and let this comedian get up there, knowing this is what he do, he crack his joke. And in hindsight, it looks like, shit, I'm just solidifying, letting them know, man, white supremacy gonna exist.
Well, yeah,
and
it's a good old boy club. So listen,
it's gonna stay here.
and here's the thing that I always want to say: I can criticize whoever I want to because they're not my god. If you can't criticize the party that you voting for, they become your god, and that's a cult, right? So the goal is to say, and this is for my challenge to Democrats and Republicans in the comments, type in a criticism you have of the party that you voting for. If you cannot do that, you are treating government like God. Full stop. Let's go. Let's see. Because this thing has radicalized to such a high point that the people are putting the government before the people.
Yeah.
And the government is only supposed to be for the people.
Like that. So it's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, before they go to sleep, right? They get to dwelling on their problems. You know what I'm saying? Think about everything negative that had happened in the day before. All the things that sometimes they feel like it's out of their control. It was a new study done that dogs do the same thing at night.
Word.
They say dogs sit back at nighttime and reflect on all their problems. So I'm guessing they want to come to the conclusion maybe we should start worrying about the emotional well-being of our pets and the way we treat them. You know what I'm saying? But on a collective scale, we need to start doing the same thing for our humans. You know what I'm saying? But do you believe that dogs sit back and reflect on their problem?
Man, I ain't worrying about them bitches. I'm focusing on human problems.
He got the dog in him.
I'm focusing on human problems, brother. I ain't got time to be thinking about what a dog is thinking about.
Straight up, man. Where they be coming up with these studies at?
You know what I'm saying?
For real.
I swear, bro. We go fix the mental health of dogs before we fix the mental health of humans. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we at. But on that thing about, and don't get me wrong, I love animals. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump, I think animals are great. I think they're all great. Dogs, little dogs, big dogs, you know, dogs, right?
But you gonna rock that fur though, ain't you? You talking about I love our animals. You gonna rock a fur coat though. I just seen you with a fur coat on.
You know what I heard? Another study about cats though. They say that cats actually can recognize the difference between their owner's voices, but they choose to ignore it. So a cat will sit there and be listening to you, knowing as you calling them and then ignoring you on purpose.
Now I kind of like that though, cause when it take it back to humans. What if we took that thought process when it came to that little voice in our head? They be telling us to do bullshit, and we actually ignore it.
Man. You cat You cat dog. For sure. You get that from that.
Cause sometimes we listen to our most negative thoughts, bro. We get the acting on the, you hear me? You gotta be more like a cat.
People already do that, ignore you, knowing you call. I do that to people. I heard you.
My
relax.
phone don't do not disturb right now.
You know what I'm saying? I think cats and dogs. No, shout out to all the dog and the cat people, man.
Yeah.
I like dogs, actually. I want to get me a dog. You know what I mean? I think there is something cool about thinking about whether dogs have consciousness, because they do. I believe all animals have consciousness, plants, all of those different things. Not to the point of what we have. You know what I'm saying? Cat people are a little different because cats carry parasites and things of that nature. So cat women are different than dog women. What has been your difference in recognizing cat women and dog women?
This why I don't recognize the difference, right? Because I ain't gonna lie. I don't like no animals unless it's a fish tank. So if I come to anybody's house and you got a dog, I'm gonna tell you put the dog and shit up. Definitely put the cat up. And I feel like women who got cats are crazy, first of all, me personally. And then a woman who got a dog, she just gangster depending on what type of dog it is. You know, some women I know got pit bulls and shit. And what's the new dogs that everybody be breeding? Nobody breed Rottweilers, but Yeah, them bulldog, whatever they call you. Don't nobody got pit bulls no more either. I heard that ain't a thing no more. But going over a woman house with a cat, I be feeling like, man, maybe her ex passed away or something. She went and got a cat because she was lonely. I don't deal with cats, bro. They crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then I don't like animals jumping all up on me and shit. Like,
Right.
I hate it, like, for real. So I can't deal with nobody unless they got a fish tank or the fish is in the tank minding their business and we can just sit down and have our
Right.
conversation. That's how I like it.
Now,
How do you recognize the difference?
well, there's definitely a difference. I think cat women are more introverted, and I think dog women are more extroverted, right? Cat women are more loners. You know what I'm saying? They're a little more like witches and things of that nature. They practice witchcraft and stuff like that, voodoo. You know what I mean? All that. Yeah, they be with the black cats and the black moons, and they got more crystals and things of that nature in their
Man,
household and waist beads and stuff like that for sure. Um, I was looking up some of these personality traits though. It say cat women, independent, introversion, creativity, and openness. I can see the
I can see the
creativity. A lot of them are
creativity.
artists
Yeah,
and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
tarot readers.
Yeah, weird for sure. A lot of weirdness going on.
They keep a book.
Keep a book.
And
You know
some
what I'm saying?
glasses.
Because cat women are less likely to answer their phone.
Why we stereotyping?
You know what I'm saying? Well, they can give us cat women go answer their phone less like cats. Cats, they see your call, but they don't answer. Cat women different. Dog women are more sociable. That's the first thing you say, sociability. They a little more
Why I just thought you
outgoing.
said Cat Williams different.
Nah, cat women different. Agreeableness,
They
they say dog women are more agreeable. You most likely get in an argument with a cat woman. You know what I'm saying? Dog women, they are loyalty and conscientious because
I
you
like
you're
that.
like the animal that you with. You take on those animalistic traits, right?
Yeah.
So there's lifestyle differences, right? They say cat women have more flexible routines, and cat women prefer to live more flexible routines as cats are relatively low maintenance, right? So cats don't need as much requirements. Like people treat their dogs really like babies. They require a lot of maintenance, right? Like you're not thinking about a cat's feelings. A cat's ain't thinking about your feelings. Like relax, that cat good.
How about this, bro? Back in the day, right? I was talking to this girl, right? And this is when I was in my gangster days, my thug days, so she only knew me from live being gangster. And she used to get mad because I never come out with her house. Cause she had a dog, you hear me? I'm scared of dogs. I ain't want to see
Oh, I
me
forgot
soft
you are scared
and
of
think
dogs.
I'm soft and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I used to make it, you gotta pull up to mine. I don't feel like coming on that side of town. I've been out driving all day, whole time. I was scared of dogs. I just
Right.
never told her that.
Now, I'm gonna finish this last one.
For real.
Dog women have more active lifestyles and more structured routines because they got to be more outdoor oriented lifestyles due to exercise needs of dogs. They often engage in activities like walking, jogging, and social events. You're more likely to find a dog woman, right, walking the neighborhood, things of that nature. Like you got to think about growing up. The women who had dogs, you see, old girl, she got to walk that dog. They give you opportunity. You feel me? Go talk to her. She gonna be a little more sociable. Then she got the cat. She ain't walking no cat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That cat is gonna stay right there looking outside the window. You know what I mean? And so will she as well. So there is that difference. Now, ladies, I would love to get your opinion on this. These are not facts. These are just opinions, thoughts, and ideas. There's some of the stuff we got from the internet. So tell me, do you agree?
Now, how about this? If I was living in New York, I would love for my woman to have a cat. They got a rat problem so crazy out there. Like, you gotta have a cat.
She gonna get a snake.
You need 6 cats. I would go buy the cat personally for you. You hear me? Straight up. Cause I ain't gonna lie, like, New York, it's mandatory, actually.
Hey man, listen, cats are different.
It's mandatory, for real. But yeah, that was all the topics that I had for tonight that I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that we needed to highlight. Cause all of them, like, on an intertwined scale, it all came back to a collectiveness that, you know what I'm saying, that we all gotta play our role in this,
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you about, before we get out of here, Elon Musk cabs. Would you get one of his automated cabs?
Would I buy a cab?
Well, he call them cabs, but they like little gold cars with automated vehicles.
Yeah, with no driver,
No
and
driver?
no pedals and no
Yeah.
steering wheel. No. First of all, listen, you got to look at all of this technology and just automatically assume like sometimes things are too good to be true. You already seen the videos of the malfunctions of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of this tech. You done seen Tesla get a lot of recalls, even on the new Cybertruck that they just dropped. You know what I'm saying? So why would I get in a vehicle that got no driver, no steering wheel, and no pedals? You know what I'm saying? What if it mistakenly, you know what I'm saying, see somebody walking in the street and it's too late before the camera capture and they hit the person in the street and I'm in this car and I don't want to deal with all of that. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of tech, right? I seen a lot of multifamily homes or whatnot. They're adapting a lot of new technology in the home to make it easier for their tenants, you know what I'm saying, to get on the internet, have free Wi-Fi, have, you know what I'm saying, good surveillance and keyless doorknobs and all of that. But on the flip side, a lot of this technology monitor everything that you do. So imagine you paying an extra fee this month just to have, you know what I'm saying, free internet. These people know everything you search. They know all your movements, you know what I'm saying? Even with the keyless doorknob, they probably be able to hack and come into your apartment. So you got to be careful when, you know what I'm saying, dealing with a lot of this technology, bro. Like I ain't really a fan of it, you know?
Now we can end this on trends, right? So there's a huge shift as we look at where the economy is going. And one of them is private labels, right? And like smaller brands. So people are not, they're no longer valuing like the large brand purchase anymore the way that they used to, right? So I think that we're going to see a trend of luxury sales being down, smaller brands starting to have their moment, right? To where you can see, and smaller brands are starting to do it really well, right? To where they can have really nice jackets and shirts and things, and that it has evolved way past the t-shirt brand, right? To where they can literally create luxury brands and create campaigns around them, to where you're going to see a huge consumer shift that is happening right now towards the future. And I think more people need to create luxury brands. More people need to get into private label products and things of that nature, because that loyalty that we had to them big brands has now decreased. And this is why you're going to see the influencer economy and the creator economy continue to grow as well, because they're going to need that influence. But here's the thing. A lot of creators can just create their own brand. Now, it makes sense sometimes to do a deal when you want to just be good at one thing and then partner with somebody else that can build infrastructure around you that already has it. But I think these deals have to start getting better for creators, because your influence is becoming more and more valuable, right? So we need to see better deal structures. We just seen they put out the top Forbes list, like, of creators and things of that nature. Of course, Mr. Beast was at number 1, right? But at a time where influencers were made fun of, right? Now they're killing it.
Yeah.
So I hate to see TikTok go away for the reasons of entrepreneurism.
I was just about to ask you that. What's the
these social media companies need to be held to fire for the addictive practices that they push with these algorithms.
I was just about to ask you with, you know what I'm saying, with TikTok possibly coming to an end in the US, if you built your entire brand on TikTok, as far as your shop and everything, your influence, everything came from TikTok, what would be the first way that you would pivot and move, you know what I'm saying, switch your brand to another way so people can still come in and, you know what I'm saying, shop with you?
Or going from TikTok to somewhere else? I think one of the things you're going to have is a lot of people who used to short form content need to start making long form content. And they should already be pivoting to vlogging in other different areas as well. There's so many people on TikTok that people on Instagram and YouTube never heard of, right? They've mastered the short form, but outside of that, they're not good at the long form. And what you're going to see a trend as well is that, you know, which is what we already on with high level conversations. We built our high level conversations like a show. We didn't build it like a podcast because we went in there wanting to compete. Well, the time that you would spend on Netflix, the time you would spend on HBO, Prime, whatever, especially when we have a 2 to 3 hour time slot. So I think that a lot of creators are going to figure out, how do we create long form content, or even more. And then when I say long form, it ain't got to be 3 hours. It could be 15 minutes, right? That's long form in that essence. But creating that content, but number one, also having a community that you can drive, right? When your whole entire brand is dependent on one social media platform or vertical, then you don't really have control whatsoever. Your life can be upended by a choice by the government. No, create a community, own that data, create funnels around that data, right? Whether there's newsletters, whether you're using service AI automated services to collect that data so that you can then go convert that data into sales whenever. So you be able to communicate, whether there's text messaging, and also use all platforms. You don't have to be 100% perfect on all platforms, but you can automate the spread of that content, and you can be more efficient by utilizing AI tools that allow you to cut down the time it normally would take. So I think that all the practices should be converted now. Now, if you're doing something really good, double down on what you're doing. But just in case on January 19th that it actually goes through, then you should have that plan to be able to convert your audience. So the content you should be making right now on content is also preparing your audience to shift them somewhere else and telling them, hey, I'm worried about this. I'm doing this. This is where I'm at now. I've got a preview on TikTok, but you can find a long form here on YouTube. Right? Start shifting people to different things and or creators right now that have a lot of followers. I believe that there should be more creator-led platforms, right? Subscription models are a huge thing right now. Instead of you just trying to make money off products, we need subscriptions so that people can subscribe and it gives you the peace to be able to create the content that the people love anyway.
Right.
I seen somebody like, Isaac Hayes, his platform has a subscription model, right? Of course, eventually, YouTube has a subscription model. Instagram has a subscription model now. All of them, but theirs is not. It's not really that big on it. The future is going to be who we subscribe to, not just by actually like subscribing and clicking, but it's going to be like who we subscribe to monetarily. You know what I'm saying? And then how do you own and control that audience? And how you get around censorship, because creators are going to be tired of that censorship shit as well.
Yeah.
So, I think the future is communities though, like full stop. You have communities, you give them real value, you vlog, you show them transparency, you collect their data, right? And you build products around your community that they actually want. You set up subscription models to where you give way more value than needed. You focus on quantity only if you're able to do low cost, right? Otherwise, you focus on depth of connection, so you have a higher connection with that, and you're not focusing on your followers, you're focusing on your supporters, so that you're actually converting the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want to see these creators get burnt out. I also want to see people like Kai Cenat and things of that nature do huge brand deals to where not just brand deals, but they are the ones that are part of deals to acquire companies, right? And things of that nature. Think about it. Kai Cenat is named in some sort of deal with the Paul brothers got like the drinking Celsius or whatever, right? So if he has something like that could be worth 100 million for him. That could be worth $1 billion for him because he got that younger demographic of like 13 to 21. He got that under wraps.
Yeah.
So I want to see a lot of them start more companies with products, not stuff that they have to run on their own, but where they can do what they're good at, continuing to garner attention, right, and audience, and then funnel that. I want to see them leverage the hell out of that so it doesn't become a moment. Mr. Beast is up $88 million. I want to see the same thing for young creators as well, doing more of these deals, because you really have to be somebody that studies this to understand how valuable these economies are that they have.
Yeah.
Don't look at them as an influencer. Look at them as an economy and then judge that. And then you're going to be like, okay, he's worth $1 billion, right? They're worth $1 billion. And they need teams that just put infrastructure around them so they can be good at that and study a Ryan Reynolds model. I'll talk to Kenan about that, right? To where Ryan Reynolds focus on fast marketing, right? He focus on things that he know that he can push, and only things he know he can push. He gonna say no to everything else. But if he know his audience and that's within his audience demographic, then yeah, I do the deal because I know it makes sense for my economy. So creators need to start looking at themselves as economies, right? And make decisions based on it that way.
So they're all influencers. We just gave you a couple of ways to pivot.
Join High Level Club.
So you can save yourself,
One last thing. This tweet. Your podcast don't suck, right? But you just don't know how to edit your clips to reach virality. You don't know how to pose a question with interest. You don't know how to hack the algorithms with different elements that you add in each episode, make a good thumbnail, write a caption, title a video to optimize search, choose good clips, create the commercial for it, automate your processes with AI to be more efficient and collect data, sound engineer EPs, create a run a show, capture customer data, get sponsors, choose the right equipment, choose the right topic versus guests, and create funnels for monetization. But beyond that, man, all you gotta do is tap in a high level club because my team knows how to do all of that. And we're going to be having a webinar where we're breaking down everything, right? It's going to be a 3-day breakdown to where you get everything on how to start a profitable podcast, right? And a show, because we are not focused on just creating podcasts. We're focused on creating shows. And if you study the formats have shifted to where you want to make your thumbnails like they create movies, right? To where you have series and things of that nature, right? And there's a format to it. But you want to make sure that you have all these things together so that they can flow very smoothly. It's not high overhead costs. You know how to implement these tools within your business, and you understand the psychology to be able to get hundreds of millions of views like we have. So make sure you join High Level Club. Make sure you put the link up there for them so that they will be able to join as well, man. I appreciate y'all. My brother, any last words? Or we done? Be a man, don't be a fan.
I ain't really got no last words, but I want to encourage everybody, like I said, to always make sure you focus on your spiritual journey. No matter what you're doing out the day, always take at least 5 minutes out your day to just give thanks, you know what I'm saying, and reflect on how grateful and good your life is going for you, you know. And for comparing your life, you know, just focus on getting your spiritual development together. This is the end of the Man to Man podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.
Yep. Peace.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Man to Man podcast. Talk like God. Man to man.
What are you really running from? That war that you think you fighting ain't the real war. There are many wars that we go in different dimensions within self. The real wars are the inner world. It's the self wars. Society has been programming us, shaping our very perceptions of reality itself. One that we did not choose, but one we must take over. There's no more waiting. Now is the time, because it's now or never. Open up your mind's eye to see reality the way that it is, not the way that you've been sold. Understand that you are one of the ones that have been chosen if you just choose yourself. Become your own solutions to every problem and every complaint, every excuse and every blockade that's been in your way. Vision gives one direction. When you're blind, you can never give yourself direction. So you fall. Instead of falling, stand up. Utilize the self-giving and governing power that you have within yourself to become a high-level observer. Not controlled by what you see, but one that controls what they see. That defines the meaning in their reality through every synchronicity that they come across. A divinely guided man and woman. High level forever.
Stomach in, chest out, head up. How you teach a generation that don't know theyself? How do you give them the ability to be able to control the world? Not from an external point, but from an internal point. How do you teach them that the greatest enemy that they have ain't racism, ain't classism, ain't fascism, ain't poverty? No, it's the enemy that exists within. It's the self-war, the thought war that you go on a daily basis. How do you equip them with the tools to be able to win that war? You have to show them who they are so that they can customize their universe. We look at the technology and people talking that's the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is when you have a beast-like mind and don't have the ability to be able to control your nature. That's when we no longer operate from a soul place of morals and values and principles and mission and vision. But we can name our entertainment every single day because we're distracted with escapism, because it's too hard to deal with the emotions that's required to heal yourself from the trauma. How do you teach them to be able to encompass everything that they want to be, to take thoughts outside of their mind and see it in reality and not be satisfied with mediocrity? You have to give them the militants of discipline. You have to give them the rules of order. You have to show them the possibility in your own actions. You have to be courageous every single day, even if you don't want to do it. You do it because you have to. They've destroyed us, made us a desire-based society, always fall into the whims of your emotion without control of your mind. But when you teach, and you elevate, and you lead, and you encompass everything that you are on a daily basis, and you operate with that God mind, then you live above society, and you become one of the rulers and not one of the ruled. That's the highest level. Go in your mind, design the world, execute it, build with your family, take your wealth, take your power, and quit waiting. Because ain't nobody gonna save you. You gotta save yourself.
The world may question you, but never question yourself. One thing for sure, the light always comes with darkness. The same thing that make you successful can be the same thing that break you. If you don't have self-awareness, this will be the thing that destroys you. But if you know yourself, everything is meant to make you stronger. Nothing can break you down. In the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, every knock is a boost.